Most new mortgage brokers imagine the job is mostly client meetings. You have advice calls, mortgage recommendations, deals getting done, but that's only a very small part of the whole day. You see, what a mortgage broker actually does all day is far more structured. It's admin heavy and decision led than most people expect, especially in those very early stages. So let's get really clear about what we're going to cover in this video. Today, we're going to be looking at what a typical mortgage broker's day is actually split like, what most time is actually spent behind the scenes, and why the job feels busier than it looks from the outside. So then how much of the day is actually spent with clients? Well, for most mortgage brokers, client calls are a minority of the day, okay? On average, direct client interactions might take up 20 to 30% of your working time. So that's going to include initial discovery calls, follow-up conversations, explaining lender decisions, and managing expectations during delays. But the rest of the day, it exists to support those conversations. Without that groundwork, honestly, the calls just don't work. You see, what then does a broker spend most of the day doing? Well, the majority of a broker's time is spent managing cases. So this includes reviewing lender criteria before submission, checking pay slips, accounts, and bank statements, packaging cases correctly for lenders, uploading and updating CRM systems for compliance reasons, and also chasing solicitors, lenders, clients, and all the above. Now, a single case can require dozens of touch points before completion, but most of that work is invisible to the client. So then why does so much time go into admin and checking? Well, mortgage advice is risk-based. Small errors can create delays, and delays can cost weeks. That's why most brokers spend so much time checking the detail. You see, a missed pay slip can pause an application. Incorrect income figures could trigger a decline. Poor packaging can lead to re-requests or even maybe reworking the entire case. You see, experienced brokers know that 10 minutes up front often saves them weeks later. But admin isn't separate from advising as well, you see. It's what makes advice viable. So then how do brokers balance new cases with existing ones? Well, most brokers work on multiple cases at once. A typical active pipeline might see you around 10 to 25 live cases at different stages. Some awaiting documents, some with lenders, some with solicitors, some close to completion. So the job becomes one of prioritization. Knowing which cases need attention today is the skill that is built over time for most new advisors and established ones. And that's why the early days can feel really overwhelming. Then why does the job feel so busy even on those quiet days? Well, progress in mortgage brokering is delayed. Work done today often won't show results for weeks or even months, and that creates a very strange rhythm. You see busy days without visible wins, quiet days followed by sudden completions, and income lagging behind the effort. You see, new mortgage brokers often mistake this for inefficiency, but it's actually just how the process works. So then what does the role really require day to day? Well, this job isn't about selling, okay? It's about decision making under constraint. Every day involves interpreting rules, managing uncertainty, communicating clearly under pressure, and making judgment calls with incomplete information. That is why the role feels mentally heavy, even when diaries aren't full. So then what's the right way to think about the day? Well, a mortgage broker's day isn't defined by how many calls they take. It's defined by how well they control the outcomes. New mortgage brokers who succeed, they stop asking the question, why am I not just advising? They start understanding that the unseen work is the job. Now, once that clicks, the days make sense and the role starts to feel manageable instead of chaotic. For all this work, how do you actually get paid? I think this is probably one of the biggest questions people always have. If you want to know how mortgage pay structure works with commission and also salaries if you're employed, or how self-employed works, check out this video on screen right now.